That was neat. Okay, I can go away. Good evening. It's been a while since I did a Antarctica related thing, mostly because I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about. There's only so much I can talk about after being there for one season, but I am going back. And in fact, as I sit here making this video, I got about 2 weeks before I'm going to the airport and waving bye to family and starting the journey again. So I figured now would be a good time to talk about two things, and they're going to be separate videos, so bear with me. But this first one is basically congratulations. You've been offered a position, you've passed the magic 8 ball, that is the PQ process, and the background check, and all the other stuff that entails. Okay, just making sure the volume's still working, still making sounds. So, you're going. You've been given an offer, you've accepted it, you've passed all the hoops and the jumps and everything you gotta do. So now, you gotta pack, go down. And this is specifically talking about one, going as an employee, you're going to the South Pole, or where I've been and am going again, McMurdo Station, so the U.S. Antarctic program. This doesn't cover other programs, other countries, and this doesn't really cover, you're going on a cruise for a week or two and you're going down to Antarctica. But that's out of the way. So, we're going to start with essential stuff. That is teeny tiny. Make that bigger. Yes. All right. First come to first, if you're a first timer, which if you're watching this video, kind of assume you are. So first timers, you don't get a lot of say in terms of your own ECW, your own cold weather gear. When you go down, you get the big red coat, you get the snow pants, you get the issued boots. You have to take the whole set of cold weather gear that they issue you. So you don't have to worry about your own big red parka, your own winter snow boots if you don't want to. There is no, I don't want those boots, with exception. Sometimes you can ask if they have a different style, but you're taking what they give you, more or less. With the exception of, there are some things you have to provide yourself. For example, thermal underwear. Hmm. A little better. Thermal underwear. You're required to provide, obviously, because everyone's got their own personal taste, your own thermal underwear, your own, beanies, hats, earmuffs if you like earmuffs. You get a basic set of stuff. In fact, let's see, because I have another tab open. There was nothing super duper revealing in there. Oops. Okay, good. Nothing crazy. So, um, I know how to search this. Just to give you a picture of what you're working with. Do they have one of us? Oh, there, yes, flight requirements. This is all stuff that you will be given your first year. And you have to take all that. You have to take the goggles, the mittens, the pants, the buddy, all this stuff. Now, like with the boots, they have another style of boots. You can maybe potentially get those. They're kind of stingy with what boots they don't like to. It is what it is. So sometimes you may look at you can swap things around, but this is what you're given. Long underwear, sunglasses, that's on you. prescription sunglasses, regular sunglasses. Oops. Yeah, fine. That's on you. But you get all this stuff, you have to take this. So ECW, you're kind of stuck. Aside from the pants, the sunglasses, which in fact, that's that. And like it said, you have your choice of gloves or mittens. But again, if it were me going down, having been down, maybe a pair of your own gloves. You got a style you like, you have a brand you like. They give you, like in the picture, basically leather, brown gloves or mittens in the same kind of style. So they're fine. I took them last year. I wore my own gloves. They'll get you through. But if you have your own gloves, maybe you want to spend the extra space in your luggage and bring something you like. That's up to you. But first years, you're getting stuck with this. So there's that. Now, returners, you get to pick. You get to not bring this. You get to pick your own boots. You can provide your own gear if you want. So returners, that's something you got to think about. Do you want to potentially waste space in your luggage with your own ECW, or do you want to have more space for your other stuff and take the issued stuff? But that's on you. Other stuff to consider when packing is work required. So, for example, I work in the fire department down there, and I'm required to bring my own duty pants, fire resistant NFPA, which if you're not fire, whatever. But basically, my own work pants to wear and my own boots to wear at the fire station while I'm on shift. They provide the shirts, the job shirts, the actual fire gear, but and your department may be different. I hear the galley's pretty good. The galley provides you everything except for maybe the shoes that you need. Maybe you have to provide your own shoes when you work in the galley, but sounds like from what I've read, they're pretty good at getting you the pants and the shirts and all the stuff. And each department kind of tells you, hey, this is what you're going to need to bring down for us for when you're at work versus what they provide you when you get down there. Let's think of other need things. I mean, maybe not so much a need, but in this day and age, it kind of is. Phone chargers, and that also includes, headphone chargers, cords, that kind of stuff. Just because sometimes, and extras as well, because you may forget one somewhere, you may forget one at work. If you're at me and you're out at Willie's Field and you forget it, now you're kind of stuck until you go back out there. So, extra cords, extra chargers. And I'm sure if you've been down there and you're watching this, kind of fact checking me, headphones, wants versus needs. A lot of times you're going to be around other people. You want to watch TV on your phone, listen to music, listen to podcasts, that kind of stuff. Yet you don't want to be blasting music to everyone around. So, wireless headphones, decent headphones, cheap headphones, just something to where you can listen to your stuff and not bother the people you're around. Keep everyone happy. When you're down there, you're allotted one washing machine load of wash per week with how the water is restricted. And you're not supposed to shower every day. The water department gets kind of mad because then they're constantly having to treat water and run through water and work because they're constantly filling up the catch pools basically, and they're having to treat water all the time. So it's kind of encouraged when you're down there to shower every other day. If you get a little funky, little electric deodorant. Don't be gross, but at the same time, if you're one of those shower every night kind of people, that's not so much of a thing down there as it is maybe back home. And with that, and the one little wash, you don't need, 5 pairs of pants for each day you go to work. You're not always going to work in fresh, clean, pants. If they're gross, or if you're walking around and you spill food on your pants on your day off, bring, 2 or 3 pairs of pants and 2 or 3 shirts. So if you spill food on yourself and you kind of get kind of gross midway through the week, you have something fresh, but you don't need a whole pile of shirts and a whole pile of pants and all that stuff. Like me, even as a returner, I'm overpacking my clothes. It's a choice I made, but me personally, I like being able to rotate around. If you're someone who, you can wear the same, 2 pairs of clothes, 3 pairs of clothes for 5 months, cool. You can bring less clothes, but that's me. But all stuff to consider. How much clothes are you bringing? You want to bring a lot of clothes and less other stuff, or do you want to get by with kind of the minimum that you need? And there's some people who go down who like to play on hard mode and they don't bring any clothes aside from what they're wearing and maybe one other pair, and they go to SCUA and kind of thrift and trade and get their clothes elsewhere. So if you get in a pinch, there's clothes down there, but it's secondhand clothes, and it's kind of you get what there is. Ooh, can't spell. Here, hard drive slash, especially with them cracking down on the internet. Past year or two, it was free internet, and we kind of used and abused it a little bit. So they're cracking down on the internet down there. So the days of Netflix and being able to do all the stuff down there came and went. And so get, a terabyte hard drive if you want, or, do the math. They sell hard drives there too, but you're there. You can't really load up stuff on a new hard drive down there because they're already down there. But get a drive and load up podcasts and audiobooks and stuff you like, movies, TV shows. There's DVD players down there, and I myself this go around got one of those zipper like CD DVD cases, and I'm just loading up a bunch of stuff that I like and a little tiny DVD player that plugs into my computer. It's about the size of a disk drive that just plugs in. I'm basically bringing my own DVDs and DVD player just so I have what I like to watch, and I know that it works. Because sometimes down there you'll see something you want to watch, open the DVD case, and it's missing, or it's something else, or it's all scratched up. So your mileage may vary, but something to think about. Bringing down stuff you like to listen to, read books. If you have a Kindle, load up a Kindle with stuff you like. Podcast, download a bunch of whatever. Optional stuff. Now, this is kind of fun because don't forget, all this stuff, there is a weight limit. Now, the weight limit depends on what department you're working for. Like firefighters, we get a little extra weight allowance. Other departments, you're at the base weight allowance. There's, 80 pounds, 50 pounds. I throwing those numbers up, but you get what I'm saying. There's only so much you can bring with you. And when you fly down, it's limited to 2 bags and a carry-on. So like 2 duffel bags, 2 gear bags, and a carry-on. Which, side point, side pro tip, you can mail stuff down to yourself. So like me, I mailed my extra glasses, sunglasses, a couple bars of soap that I like, just stuff that I don't need right away when I'm down there. And that way it's on the way, it gets there when it gets there, and I'm not taken away from my weight allowance flying down with stuff that I don't need right away. And Amazon does work down there too. So if you get in a pinch and you want Gatorade powder or more deodorant or something, especially in the summer. The winter, I don't really know how flights go. I think they were doing a couple flights that got some mail down during the winter, but in the summer, it may take a minute. But if you're in a pinch and you gotta order some more deodorant, you can probably get away with it pretty easily, as long as you don't go crazy ordering stuff down. But it is what it is. This is more for, I think, well, both returners and new people, but the rooms are very basic. They're basically dorm rooms. Especially first years are going to be in 155 unless you really luck out and get one of the other buildings. But some of the rooms in 155 don't have windows. It's kind of dungeony. So if you want to bring, I kind of considered it essential, but little LED string lights that you can kind of decorate your room with, get a little color, get a little light in there so you're not using the big overhead fluorescent lights all the time. You can do that. If you want to roll the dice, you can go to SCUA. There may be some in there. Whether or not it has the remote, whether or not they work, it's a good question. And that kind of stuff. But stuff to make your room feel a little more at home. Bedding. They do provide bedding. I believe they're twin XL mattresses. If you want to provide your own bedding, but again, if you're cools, they have their own laundry service. Everything's clean. That's not what I'm saying, but me, I like my own sheets, so I'm bringing my own stuff. But they have stuff down there. They have extra blankets, extra pillows, so don't feel like you have to bring your. Oh, that's one thing. But yeah, bedding, is what it is. Essentials: shower shoes. Communal showers, they get cleaned every day. Around, it depends, but once a day the showers get cleaned, the bathrooms get a scrub down. It's still, you're rolling the dice, especially in 155 when there's 100 other people using the same shower as you are. You can get there's some gross feet running around there sometimes, and so Crocs or flip flops or something that keeps your feet from, just being on the bare shower floor. Solid idea. And your own towel. Now, again, you may luck out, go to school, find a bath towel, but down there, there's not there's no provided towels for you go take your shower, so you're kind of on the hook for your own shower stuff. This is more, at least for fire department, because we have to be clean shaven. Your department, if you're in a department in a section that has to be clean shaven, but if you like being clean shaven, bring your own razor, extra blades. They do sell shaving cream in the store. They do sell some razors. You can get toothpaste, or you can Amazon toothpaste, or if you're in New Zealand and you have a little extra space in your luggage, you can go get a couple cans of shaving cream and toothpaste at the store and bring it down with you. But just remember, oftentimes, especially in the McMurdo store, you get the choice of shaving cream, which is you buy that one or you don't. Or the deodorant for a while was your choices of deodorant are buying this deodorant or not buying deodorant. You have a choice of deodorant. So that kind of stuff, either send down to yourself, order on Amazon, or go to the store in New Zealand when you're doing your little layover, buy some tubes of toothpaste and shaving cream and get yourself all set up with what you like. Stuff. Bedding. I'm trying to think. What are some other good? I mean, optional stuff obviously is kind of like a loaded question. Like, what what you want to bring is what you want to bring. Like, I'm just trying to run through things through my head, like stuff that I've packed. That I'm bringing a wax melter down, especially since I know my roommate. Hopefully, He's appeared actually on this channel before, and we might actually do a podcast while we're down there, which that's not the place for this video, but not so much 155 because as a first year, if you're in a room with 4 or 5 other people, maybe you don't want to go funking up the room with, smells that you may think smell good, but other people may not. So, kind of run that by your roommates when you get there, see if they're cool with it or whatever. But especially as a returner, I bring it, and my roommate's cool with it. Like, that place smells like dirt most of the summer because it's just so dusty. And there's no trees, there's no flowers. It's almost like there is no smell. So being able to walk in and go, oh, it's nice. It smells like a rainstorm in here, or it smells like a Christmas tree, or I don't know, fall leaves or whatever. Just stuff that makes the time go by a little nicer, makes the room a little more inviting. Um, General electronics. I'm bringing a computer. A lot of people bring computers to play video games on. Some people bring professional cameras. It's all, you dependent. GoPros, those show up. But really, the most important thing is find out what's the essential, work stuff you're required, clothing that you're required to have, you know, whatever you deem to be the right amount of clothes for you going down, podcasts, audiobooks, a Kindle, like we've talked about, shower stuff, bath towel, your own razor blades. If you use bar soap, bring your own bar soap down or send it down because the options are what the options are down there, especially in the summer as the boat comes once a year, and especially that December, beginning of January, when the boat's on the way, the options get kind of thin for what you can and can't get in the store. But with that being said, I think that about does it for this little video. It's more of just a little what to think about, things to think about, prime your brain. Remember, there is a weight limit. You have only so much space to work with. And yeah, I will say, if you make a little mathematical oopsie when you're packing and you get down there and you get told, oh, you're 2 pounds overweight, you have to lose stuff, you have to make some decisions and cut some stuff. Don't fear that it's gonna, get tossed in the trash. And like the CDC, the gear issue people are chill to work with. If you gotta leave a couple pairs of pants behind, or a set of sheets, or a blanket or something, you can store stuff at the CDC. They give you a tag, and then when you come back, head home, you can swing by the CDC with your little ticket, claim your stuff, and get your stuff back when you head home. And there's also, if you're really, really lucky, a U.S. Post Office little outlet store right like in the same building as the gear issue, pretty much. So depending on when you go, you may even be able to go there, you know, and ship your stuff home because you're ship whatever extra that you can't bring or don't need to bring, or you don't want to store for when you come back. You can just ship that home and call it a victory. So if you get down there and you made an oopsie, don't think that you're stuck or you gotta throw stuff away. Like, there's options to either send it home or just pick it back up when you're headed home. So other than that, this has been on for like 20 minutes, which is like 10 minutes too long, but it is what it is. I've said all the points probably multiple times, so I'm going to wrap this one up here. Give it like a few minutes, hop on, and then there'll be another one, which is more about the actual getting down there process once you know you're going. So cool. Thanks for watching.